Am I live? Can y'all hear me okay? Listen, a little impromptu live. I was going to record this video and then I figured, I was like, girl, if you record it, what's going to happen is it's going to have to be edited. And most likely y'all will never see it if I gotta wait to edit it. So I was just like, you know what? You got a moment. Let's just go live. Let's just go live. And I know this is not how you're supposed to go live on YouTube because you're supposed to let everybody know that you're going to be live so that people will join. But listen, here's the good thing. You will be able to see the live on the replay. So if you're missing it now, it's okay. If you didn't catch it live, you will absolutely be able to see this on a replay, right? So happy New Year. We made it to 2025. Okay, listen, we made it to 2025. If you're new here, you don't know who I am. My name is Yolanda. I am the hands behind My Pretty Brown Doll. I don't even know if I can say that am I the hands behind My Pretty Brown Doll? Because what have these hands done? I am the hands behind My Pretty Brown Doll. I am the author of the book by the same name, My Pretty Brown Doll. Crochet Patterns for a Doll That Looks Like You by yours truly. This is available on Amazon and everywhere that you can find books sold online. It also may be available at your local library. So yeah, author of that book. Y'all, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it because I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time because I gotta go get that baby or toddler. But we got a little bit of time. So let's talk about what happened to 2024. Did I just go missing? Did I just like say, you know what? Yeah. Let's just not do nothing, right? That is not what happened, but that is what looks like what happened. So if I had to sum up 2024, what I will say is 2024. Oh, thank you, Aggie Pride. That's right. Aggie, listen, them Aggies did keep me busy in 2024. The few dolls that I did make, I want to say all of them except but one went to North Carolina A&T, to a North Carolina A&T graduate or student or upcoming student. So shout out to the Aggies for keeping your girl busy. But I will say, and thank you for purchasing the book. I hope you're enjoying it. That if I had to sum up 2024, what I will say is that I normally am the type of person that will make things happen. Like I am a planner, but I make a plan and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's make this happen. I'm the person out here like, we're going to make some things shake. 2024 was like, girl, no. Basically, life was happening and I was just rolling with it. I knew I was losing my earring. I felt it fall out. But anyway, I was like, you know what? We just gonna make some things like it wasn't me making things happen. It was just like life is happening and I'm gonna need you to just go with it. And that's how I be sometimes. That has not been the case for me in a very, very long time. So it kind of took me by surprise when it was happening because I was like, wait, what am I supposed to be doing? And I kept trying to pivot and kept trying to get back to it. And life was just like, girl, no. Hey, Charles. Life was like, no, we are doing this. And either you're gonna go with it or yeah. So, oh, hi, Landon. Well, thank you for joining. It's appropriate. I won't be saying anything inappropriate. But yeah, so like I said, life was happening. And I had no choice but to roll with what was happening. And that is not normal for me. And so it took me a minute to kind of adjust. And then I was just like, oh, okay, life, what we doing? And let's go. As you know, I am, or as some of you may know, I am a new mom again. So I do have a 23-year-old son. I thought I was on Empty Nest Express. And the next thing you know, your girl was pregnant. I was just like, wait a minute. Like me and the doctor was sitting there like, you see me, I see you. You see me? Do you know how babies are made? Do you know how babies are made? We are just talking about what happened in 2024 and what my plans are for 2025. And so, throw in the mix, me being at the time that I had him, I was 41, but this year, 45 with a 3-year-old. Earlier in the year, I did find out that my 3-year-old is on the spectrum. So, In 2023, I noticed that Jordan was like regressing. He was talking and then he stopped. It was like the baby had just lost all his words. And I was like, "Ooh, that's not normal." So when I took him to his pediatrician, the pediatrician was like, "Oh, that sometimes happen. Let's just get him into speech therapy and we'll go from there." So we went into speech therapy at the end of like around September of 2023. And then around November, December of 2023, the speech therapist was like, "Have you had him evaluated for autism? Because I see signs that may say he is on the spectrum." Because in my mind, I was just like, the baby just not talking. Because he was doing, other things. I was just like, the baby's just not talking. So when she brought that up, and then it was kind of like brought to my attention, I was like, oh, okay, she may be right. So had him evaluated, and then in February of 2024, they did diagnose him with level 2 autism. In some areas, he's very high functioning. In other areas, it's just like, it's just not clicking for him. And so I was just like, okay. So we went from having speech therapy to then having we were doing speech therapy twice a week. We added OT therapy for an hour a week. And then we added play therapy for another hour, but broken up into 30-minute sessions. So another 2 days a week. So it was just like, I'm going between having to get him to where he needs to be and also doing the things that I need to do, but he's absolutely the priority, right? And so then also at the end of 2023, I decided to go back to work, because that was the other thing for me. It's totally different having your own business and running your own business when the only person you really got to take care of is you, right? It's one thing for me to be like, this is my sole source of income, and if I make money this week, great. If I don't, then that's okay. When you got somebody else that you got to take care of, baby, I needed if I clock in and I work these hours, I'm going to get this amount of money, right? I needed that paycheck. And so I went back to work in October of 2023. So in 2024, not only are we juggling my work schedule, but we are also juggling Jordan's schedule as far as his therapies, and then trying to figure out, how do I still run this business? It was a lot, and I'm old and I'm tired. And I was like, I can't do it. And so immediately the crochet just went to the back burner. I will also say that I also just started thinking about doing other things. The thing about it, I will say that a lot of people do not talk about often, is when you are doing something craft related, and then you turn it into a business or you start making money from it. I'm not going to say it takes the joy away from it, but it does add another layer of pressure. There's this other layer of, oh, this thing that I love, I now also have to do to make money. And mentally, you can be like, I absolutely want to do it. But when somebody else is trying to tell you, because they paid for it, how it has to be done, when it has to be done, and you kind of have to cater to that, it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot. And like I said, I'm not saying that it's completely bad, because I am thankful that I'm still able to make money from my crochet work. I am super thankful and grateful for that. But I don't think people talk about it enough, about how it can be, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to, and I don't want to have to do it on this timeline. I don't want to have to go, because it's also, here's the thing, when it was my main source of income, I also got to talk about it. I also got to show up in places. I also have to take criticism and not be able to respond in a certain way, because I don't want to mess up my image, or I got to remain professional, right? Because this is my business. And so somebody can come at me sideways, but the expectation is I remain professional. That's not always easy. That's not always easy. So taking all of those things into consideration, I was just like, you know what? we just gonna let the cards fall where they may. And so I had customs open, but I was not promoting it. Like, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you could probably be like, girl, when is the last time she posted? When is the last time she said anything? Because it was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna, exactly why you refuse to turn them, give it. Listen, and I understand it. I'm not upset with anybody who makes that choice, because it definitely can be a lot. On the flip side of that, like I said, I'm grateful that I'm able to make money from something that I do enjoy doing. But the other part of it, like you just said, there is this pressure and this thing, it can kind of make it feel like, do I even want to do this anymore? And as much as I love to crochet, I did find some other hobbies that didn't require, hold on one second. I did find some other hobbies that did not have any, like, I did not tie any monetary piece to it. I wasn't trying to make money from it. So I started diamond painting. I absolutely love it. It's like my new favorite thing to do. I never thought that there would be something that I would want to do more than I would want to crochet. But baby, give me a good diamond painting. And I'm just like, damn, 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 damn. Let's put all the diamonds up there. And I think part of the reason that I enjoy it so much is because there is no business side to it. There's no money tied to it. There's, if I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. And so I enjoy doing that. And again, the crochet just kind of, it just kept going to the back burner and to the back burner until it was off the stove altogether. It was just like, do you crochet? And I do. I think in 2024, we had the college girl, we had the college boy, or the university boy. We also did the Afro puff little sweater. So there were absolutely some crochet things that happened. It just was not what I had initially planned. Because my initial plan, like, I was supposed to finish the entire HBCU series. Like, that was a whole series of dolls. They did not get done. So we did do this one. Hold on, I think this is a video. Let me see if I can just find a portrait of her. So we finished this girl and we released this girl as a pattern. So we did do her. She was the collegiate doll. So she was finished and released as a pattern. And then we also released the boy as a pattern. Where is he at? He's somewhere in here. Where's my guy? Hold on, let me see. Okay, here they are both together. So we end up releasing both of these, this guy and this girl, as a pattern. So both of those were released. Both of those were released. And then we also did, now this was one of my favorite doll. Okay, so we did do a Howard University doll. This was one of my favorite dolls from, come on, Wendell, get out my thing. So this was one of my favorite dolls from 2024. She is cute. Look, see, when you go back through your photos, you like, dang, I did that. You did do that, ma'am, in 2024. But she was one of my cuties in 2024. I'm trying to find my little sweater that we did. Let me go back this way. I think it was like in March. Yeah, here she is. So then we also released that cute doll sweater right there with the little Afro puffs. So that sweater was also released in 2024. That was it. Those were my main, like, those three things were like the main crochet things that were released by me in 2024. Like I said, we did do some other customs. I think we ended up doing 5 customs in 2024, which is low for me because isn't that sweater cute? And look at it on, this is what it looks like on the actual doll. Isn't that cute? I love it. This is this on my Etsy shop? I think this is on my Etsy shop. So if you're on the My Pretty Brown Doll Etsy shop, it is available in my Etsy shop. And she is also available with One Puff. So there she is with One Puff. So yeah. And I think I did, like I said, 5 customs. And that is low for me because I remember probably about 2018, 19, 20, even 20, up until 2021. Like Christmas time, I did 13 customs, like between October and December. So to say that I did 5 customs in an entire year, I'm just like, girl, do you even know how to crochet? Like, do you even pick up your crochet hooks? So when I talk about 2024 being a low crochet year for me, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Other places where I ended up thriving that I didn't know I was gonna thrive necessarily, like, and I'm not gonna lie, I did set the intention. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, I would love if I could grow in this place. And then it kind of ended up happening unexpectedly is on the Clock app or TikTok, which we don't even know if it's gonna be an app anymore that we can access in a few weeks. But on that app, I ended up growing. I ended up doing the TikTok shop, like affiliate creator type program. I ended up making some money over there. So that was pretty interesting for me to kind of dive into and kind of figure out and learn. I'm definitely still learning. I'm no expert on it, but I did do pretty well and I was quite proud of myself to be able to do that. Again, it was something that I was able to do. It didn't require a lot of effort. Now, I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't work because it was definitely work, but it did not require as much effort or as much as my time as the crochet work would have. So when I think about it, because it's like, oh, well, couldn't you have crocheted instead of making videos for TikTok? I could have, but understand that a TikTok video at the most amount of time that I may spend on a TikTok video is maybe 30 minutes at the most. And one of those videos made me over $1,000. A 30-minute, something that didn't even take me 30 minutes to record made me over $1,000 versus me having to sit and crochet for several hours to not even break $200 or $300. So when we put it into perspective that way, it's like, girl, go make the TikTok videos, right? Just go make the TikTok videos. So I was happy with my progress over there. Like I said, now we don't know if the app is still going to be there, if it's, if it's going to leave, if it's still going to be there. But yeah, that was, an exciting thing to kind of experience, to grow, because I'm also a learner and I like to learn new things. And so to be able to learn that and kind of put some of those things into action and execute on them was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. Other than that, the year, like I said, the year was just happening and I was just going with it. We were taking Jordan to therapy. We were clocking into this work from home job. We were, trying to keep our house as clean as possible, trying to figure out, what things or activities can I involve Jordan in? What is he going to enjoy? And also, one last piece for myself, I guess, is my own health in 2024. So I have been dealing with some health issues ever since I found out that I was pregnant with Jordan. Like, we did not think that I was going to be able to carry him to full term. So in addition to me just being an older person pregnant, so they already called it a geriatric pregnancy and already considered that part high risk. There were some other things going on with me that also said this is a high risk pregnancy. I'm talking about going to the doctor every week to check on him to make sure he was thriving, and then finally giving birth. That's a whole nother thing because it was a traumatic birth. I was like, what in the world? So yeah, and then now still dealing with those health issues 3 years later. Like 3 years later, and we're still dealing with them. And so trying to figure out my own health and what that looks like and what can I do to feel better. Because in all honesty, there are days basically when I wake up and I feel great. and I can function and I can do. And then there are days when I'm just like, yeah, can we even get out of the bed? And the days of can we even get out of the bed were far greater than the days when it was just like, you got this, let's go, 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 go. And so we had to take advantage of the days where it was go, 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 go. And like I said, because they were far and few in between. Now, I will say coming into the new year, I think we may have figured out what's going on and we might have a solution for it. We're going to see. Because right now going to Happy New Year, Tony. Right now going into the new year, your girl is feeling good. Now, I think part of it too is that it is a new year. And like most people, when we come into a new year, baby, our mind is just reset. And it's kind of like, let's go. And so mentally, I feel like I'm in a better place. Physically, let's just hope that we stay on the up and up. We stay on the up and up. So yeah, that was my 2024. No big, like there was nothing like super, super big, but there was nothing like super, super bad either. So I'm not claiming it was not a bad year. It was just a let's go with the flow year. Happy New Year, Kimberly. Thank you for hopping in. So let's just go with the year. We're just doing a quick recap of 2024 and what my plans are for 2025. Recap of 2024. We basically was out here just letting life do what it do. Between getting Jordan into all his therapies, clocking into this work from home job, and managing my own health, you know, it wasn't the best year crochet wise. It just was not the best year crochet wise. Now for 2025, do I have, thank you, girl. You know, we got our hair done. Okay. For 2025, do we have plans to, like, you know, ramp up the crochet? Y'all want me to be honest, right? We do not. Long story short, we do not. When I look at 2024, when I look at the things that I want to do crochet wise, there is nothing at this point in time, and this could absolutely change, but as of right now, there is nothing that I am super excited about, can't wait to do when it comes to the crochet work. Because of that, because I know how I crochet and what my work means for me as far as my pretty brown doll, I'm not about to just give y'all some lackluster, oh, here, take this. Oh, here, take. I'm not about to do it. I'm not about to do it. The work for me, I stand behind it, and I also know what it represents and what it means. And if I can't give my best self to it, I don't want to do it at all. I don't want to do it at all. If it can't come from my best place, because I always feel, because again, the crochet work is work with my two hands, right? It's my two hands doing the work. When people ask you, well, what's the magic? What makes yours better than anybody else's? It's always going to be me. It's always going to be you. The fact that your two hands can do that thing is what makes it the magic. It's the secret sauce to it, right? I'm the secret sauce to it. If I come from a place of, I don't really feel like doing it, you're going to get oh, she didn't really feel like doing it. Like, I feel like you'll be able to tell I ain't really want to do that. And so because of that, I'm just like, so yeah, let's just wipe the slate clean. Let's not put anything on the board. Let's not say we're absolutely going to do this. Until I can get back to a place of this is the best me and you're getting my best crochet work, then this is where we are. This is where we are. So what does that mean for my pretty brown doll? Like, cause then it's just like, so is it done? Are you finished? Is it gone? Hey, Dr. Powell. Well, it can never be finished. It can never be done. It can never be gone. You know, because one of the things we did when we made this book, we made it forever, right? So this kind of sealed the deal. Hey, Casa, thank you for joining. This kind of sealed the deal for my work. This is one of the reasons why even when I had told them no initially, I'm so happy that I circled back and was like, yes, because this right here kind of cemented or made it forever, even if I didn't want it to be forever, right? Because this is, you can't get rid of this. Like, it's out there in the world. So I can't ever be like, oh, it's gone, it's done, I'm never crocheting. It can never be that. But what I will say is that in this season, you're just going to have to be used to just getting a little bit of me, right? You're going to have to get used to seeing a little bit more of me being a mom, of me navigating what it looks like to be a mom to a child on the spectrum, and how do we navigate that space. You're going to get a little bit of exactly that was necessary, right, Dr. Powell? You're just going to have to get a little bit more of what is it like to reinvent yourself at 45? Because your girl is 45, right? She's 45. In this season of my life, I get to choose what I want it to look like. Now, here's the thing. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a minute, you already know I stand 10 toes down on I got everything I need to create the life I want. You got everything you need to create the life you want. Because I believe that, I know that when I wake up and decide that this is who I want to show up as, this is who I want to be, guess who gets to create that? Guess who gets to decide that? Guess who gets to go and do and be that? I do. And so I had to make a decision about who I wanted to show up as in this season of my life. And y'all get to watch me do that. Let me say this. You get to choose whether or not you want to watch me do that or not. If you are only here for the crochet and you like, girl, don't nobody want to see you rebrand, reinvent, nothing, then just stay tuned until my pretty brown doll circles back around, okay? I'll let you know. But if you want to know what it looks like, because a lot of times and again, I can only speak for me. I can only speak for me as 45-year-old, college educated, I've been a mom before, mom again, still a mom, but a new mom again. And like I said, in this season of my life, exactly, there you go. It's always going to be there for you to consume. It's always going to be, and I'm always going to be here for you to be able to say, hey, Yolanda, this is what I did. What do you think? I'm always going to give you my input. You can always ask me questions. But again, in this season, it's like, well, who do you want to show up as? And for me, it's like, I feel like over like the last 2 years, I've kind of, I don't want to say shrink but I haven't shown up as my best self for several different reasons. The main reason being my health, right? Because if you're not healthy, how can you show up as your best self? And so, now that I feel like, okay, we're making headway where my health is concerned, it's just like, okay, what else do we want to show up as? Or how else do we want to present ourselves to the world? And for me, in this season, being a new mom, it's like, okay, how can I also be the best mom? What does that look like for me? What memories can I create for my son? How does that look? Establishing a legacy for him, because again, I'm 45. I know y'all like, girl, we get it. You're 45. But when you're 20 and you have a child, in your 30s when you have a child, you're not necessarily thinking about, oh, when I'm gone, right? Let's just be honest. At 45, I have to start thinking about, what does this look like for him when I am no longer here, right? And so it is also showing up and putting things in place so that this legacy of mine, when I'm no longer here, he can pick up and move and do and be okay. And I have to be the person to make sure that that happens. Not only for him, but for my older son as well. But it was different. The legacy that I was leaving for my older son is totally different than the legacy that I have to now leave for my 3-year-old, because it's a possibility. Not saying that it may happen, but it's a possibility that I may be gone out of his life sooner than expected, right? And if that is the case, what is the legacy? What does it look like? How can I got to make sure that he's in a position that he is well taken care of if his mother is not here in his 20s and 30s? And again, this is not something that we think about when we have children in our 20s and 30s, because it's just like, oh, baby, I'm going to be here to have grandchildren and see them get married and all of these things. But when you're 45, that conversation looks a little different. It looks a little different. And so what I do has to look a little different. What I do to establish that has to look a little different. And as much as I could be like, oh, I'm just going to sit on an island and crochet, I would have did that if I had had this baby. If I had not had this baby at 41, you can trust and believe your girl would have been on somebody's island crocheting, okay? But because the Lord saw fit and he was like, no, you got to be his mama. You got to be his mama. Then we're going to do something a little bit different. And so, like I said, hopefully you will come along for the journey. If not, it's okay. I ain't going to be mad at you. And I'm going to still answer your My Pretty Brown Dog questions. And again, that is not to say that there will never be no crochet or I'm not going to be talking about crochet anymore. That is not true. Because again, hey, I might wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, look, I got excited about something. We're going to work on this. You never know. You never know. But as far as like the concrete plan, I do not have, when I look at what I have planned for 2025, I do not have concrete crochet plans. I do not have concrete crochet plans. I do have concrete health plans. I do have there is things that will be happening here on YouTube. So you will see me more on YouTube. It may or may not be crochet related. We may be talking about diamond painting. We may just be talking about hobbies in our 40s, because I do feel like it's important to have hobbies in your 40s. We may be talking about establishing friendships in your 40s, because again, as a new mom, my friends, baby, they moving out the country. My friends is like, baby, I'm moving to Germany, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay. You moving to Germany? Like, that's what we're doing? So listen, it's just like, we gotta, establish new friend groups. How do you make friends in your 40s? What does that look like? Right? What does that look like? And then I'm also, like I said, I'm also a mom. So being a older mom and finding friends. Because I feel like I could be friends with the younger moms, but they probably looking at me like, is that your grandchild? Is that your grandson? No, that is my baby. That is my baby. But anyway, that's where we are. I'm excited about 2025. Like, it's a new year. It's something to be excited about. I know some people are just like, oh, it'll die down February, March, April. You won't be excited anymore. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody come and tap me on it and be like, hey, girl, you still excited? Still excited. And listen, Dr. Powell, honey, you said a word. Especially now, and I'm going to talk about this real quick, and then I got to go because it's almost time for me to go get Jordan. When we talk about pivoting and changing, especially when you're older, it's much easier to do, I personally feel like, when you're younger. Because I remember in my 20s, baby, if somebody said, listen, we got a job, you can make an extra 10,000, I was packing up my stuff. It won't even know. Like, I was packing up my stuff. Like, I remember talking to a friend, and she was just like, Dad, you lived here? You lived there? Baby, it was one point of time in my 20s, I moved every 2 years because it was a new job. I was like, oh, they said they giving me more money. Your girl is gone, okay? And so I remember just being able to pivot and move, no questions asked. In your 40s, it gets a little harder. And one of the things that I had to come to terms with, I had to talk with myself about. One of the things about that, the reason that I feel like it's a little harder is because my tolerance for being uncomfortable is way higher in my 40s. Like, again, like I said, in my 20s and 30s, baby, packed up, moved, no questions asked, right? I done slept on people's couches. I've worked 3 jobs at the same time at one point in time, right? And didn't feel won't tired, didn't care, was like, boo, I'm getting this bag. In my 40s, like the stipulation was it's got to be a work from home job because I don't even want to come into your office, right? Boo, who coming into your office? Not me. You see what I'm saying? Now listen, if somebody called me right now and was like, oh, we'll pay you $20 more than your work from home job, I promise you I probably still wouldn't take it because my tolerance for being uncomfortable is so much lower now. And it's just like, I do that. Now, here's the thing that I also understand. In order to get to where I want to be, to do what I want to do, I'm definitely going to have to be uncomfortable in some places. Like, I'm going to have to figure out, okay, Yolanda, everything can't be convenient. Everything can't be easy. You're going to have to be uncomfortable. To get to where you want to be, you're definitely going to have to be uncomfortable. Like, you're not going to be able to go get coffee every single day. I'm like, why not? Because you got coffee at home, ma'am. And if you're trying to save money, that $5, $6, $10 cup of coffee, it matters. It definitely matters. Like, y'all, when I looked at my budget because I was just like, all right, Yolanda, we got to get serious about this budget. And I looked at it for real. I was like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for the amount of money that you spend on eating out. I'm not ashamed though, because I'm just like, because it's convenient and it's easy and I be tired and I just need the meal to already be ready to eat. Okay. I need the coffee to already be ready to drink. Who wants to go in the kitchen and make a cup of coffee? Not me, girl. If you don't go in that kitchen and make that cup of coffee, because you don't have $10 to keep spending on a cup of coffee every day. And so when I talk about being uncomfortable, these are some of the things that I talk about, because it's just like, it's comfortable, it's easy, right? But there has to be this level of uncomfortability. There has to, I got to lower it a little bit. Now, there are some things that I'm just not going to be uncomfortable about. And again, you have to know where that line is for you and then kind of figure it out. Because here's the thing. It was like, when I said, oh, you can't get the cup of coffee every day, I was like, yes, I can. I just got to make more money. Just make more money to account for the cup of coffee that you're going to get every single day, right? So those are 2 options. You can either not get the cup of coffee every day, or you can make more money so that you can account for that cup of coffee that you're going to get every single day. And so, but it would be easier for me to just not get the cup of coffee every day, right? It would just be easier for me not to get the cup of coffee every single day. And so I have to keep those things in mind. But you're absolutely right, Dr. Powell. It's important to do what works for you. It's important for you to know where those lines and those boundaries are for you, and then move accordingly. But also know that you may have to be uncomfortable in certain areas to get to where it is you want to be and to do the things that you want to do. And so that's where I am. That's where we are in 2025. We're going to be a little bit uncomfortable, not a whole lot, because I'm too old for that. Not a whole lot, but a little bit uncomfortable, so that we can get the things that we want to get and establish the things that we want to establish. And then we're going to show up as our best self. That's the other part. We're going to show up as our best self. Listen, I'm glad somebody understands, because some people be like I've heard people, oh, you just ain't got no discipline. I do. I absolutely do have discipline. But again, at my big old age, there's just a level of uncomfortability that I'm not willing to sacrifice at this stage in my life. And you have to know what that looks like for you. Because here's the thing, for some people at 45, you're fine with your level of comfortability says that you can still sleep on somebody else's couch at 45. That's your level of comfort. My level of comfort says that I cannot. Right? My level of comfort says that I cannot. If your level of comfort says that you can, and you know that it's only temporarily to help you get to where it is you want to be, like if somebody has said to you, guess what? You can come stay with me for 6 months while you save up your money, and you know that you can do that for 6 months, absolutely, you should go do it. You should go do it. You should be uncomfortable for those 6 months so that you can go save up your money and go do what you need to do, right? But if you know that you can't do that, if you know that mentally it's going to just mess up, don't do that. Don't do that, right? Don't go be sleeping on somebody and you done drove yourself crazy. We're not going to do that. We're going to figure something else out. Well, what do I need to change over here so that I can still have my own place and I can still make this work? Right? What other things do I need to change? So that means that I do got to give up the coffee. I do. So that I can stay here. I got to give up the coffee, right? So we just have to figure it out when we're looking at it. It's like, okay, I'm not going to give up this place because I need my own peace of mind. I need this, but I can give up this so that I can keep this and still do that. Does that make sense? Like, we got to figure that part out. It's like, I can't do this, but I can do this. And this is what this is going to look like. And so that's what's happening over here. It's just like, what can we do? What can we do? We know we can't do that, but can we do this? Can we do this? And can we do this? Oh, okay. Well, that makes it work, right? That makes it work. So that's where we are. I am wishing everybody a very prosperous, abundant 2025. What I will say is that it is already prosperous. It is already abundant. You already have everything you need, even when it doesn't look like it. But if you tell yourself that you don't, to do everything that comes on your horizon. I'm that way about traveling. Sometimes when you have a lot of experience, there you go. And you know what? And you are so true. Because here's the thing for me. Like, I've been able to live a whole lot of different versions of my life. I've been able to move. I've been able to travel. I've had big houses. I've had a luxury car. I've been able to experience some very nice things in my life. Because of that, I know what things are super important to me and what things are not. Like, it's not necessary that I got to have a super luxury car or the biggest house on the block, but it is important to me that I have a place that is safe, that is comfortable, and that I feel like my child now can thrive in, right? So for me, it's important that he has a wraparound or a fenced-in backyard. The wraparound porch is for me. The fenced-in backyard is for him, right? But like you said, do I have to have a luxury car? No. Do I still have like my dream car in the back of my mind? Absolutely. Do I have to have a luxury car? Absolutely not. Do I have to have, the newest bag, the newest shoes? Absolutely not. There was a time when I did have the newest bag, the newest shoes, the luxury car. I had all, and I realized that those things are great, but they don't necessarily bring me all the joy that I'm looking for. Like, once I realized like what things really bring me joy, I was like, oh, okay, how can I have more of that? What do I need to do to get more of that? And so when I think about it that way, it's just like, okay, let's work towards having more of that. And so, yeah. Back to what I was saying though about abundance and prosperity. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. You just have to put yourself in alignment with it. You have to be in agreement with it, and just know that if you tell yourself you can't, you can't. Just know that if you say you can't do it, you can't do it. quality over quantity. If you tell yourself, like when I was looking at my budget, and I'm sorry, y'all, my nose keep running. When I was looking at my budget and I was telling myself, I was like, oh, how are you going to save this amount of money? And part of me almost wanted to tell myself, girl, you ain't got that kind of money to save. And I was like, oh, if you believe you ain't got it, you ain't got it, boo. Because the moment I took the money out of my bank account to actually save it, I ain't thought about that money. Like, it was almost like I took the money out of my account to put it in, like, because I'm saving it. Just know I took it out my account, because if it's in my account and I know that card ain't going to decline, baby, she going to swipe that card every time. But I took it out the account so that it wasn't there for me to be able to just swipe my card, which the day after I took it out, baby, the money was back in my account. Not because I put it back, but because I had earned it in a different way. The money was already back. And I was just like, here you was about to tell yourself that you couldn't take that money out of your account because you didn't have it. Quote unquote, you ain't got no money to save. The moment I took it out to save it, it had already been returned back to me. And so then I was reminded yet again, you have everything you need. If you believe you got it, you got it. And so now it's just like I'm operating on, baby, listen, this is how much money I'm saving every month. I'm going to save it. Where it's coming from is none of my business. We're just going to save that money every month. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, right? I'm going to figure it out. And so every month, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the money from the bank account. And we'll see how it replenishes itself, how it comes back to me. I am open to however it chooses to come back to me. As long as it's legal, ain't going to have me in jail, ain't going to have nobody hurt, rest, then baby, come on back to me. Come on back, right? So that's how we're moving in 2025. That's how we're moving in 2025. I want to say thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for the support in 2024, because y'all was still rocking with your girl. Even though your girl was over here real quiet, still rocking with me. My YouTube channel still growed. I'm still monetized on YouTube. We're still cashing out my little YouTube monetizations from y'all watching the old videos. Now, they did come to me towards the end of the year and was like, hey, girl, are you still a content creator over here? Because we haven't seen you in months. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, don't play with me, YouTube. Don't play. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Yeah, YouTube was like, hey, girl, we need to see your pretty face. And I was like, here I am. I'm right here. I'm right here. But no, thank y'all for watching, for liking, for subscribing. I truly do appreciate it. Like I said, y'all will see me. It may not be in the way that you're used to seeing me, but you absolutely will see me. And if you do have any questions in regards to crochet or in regards to what I got going on, like if I'm talking about something and you're like, hey girl, can you give me more information on that? I got you. If I don't know, I will try to guide you in the right direction. And so with that being said, again, Happy New Year. I will see y'all soon. I'm going to do this the right way next time. I'll make an announcement, put up some posts, prepare the people that Yolanda's going to be live. But y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. I always forget how to end this. Like, how do you end the live? Do you just click here?